Hello y'all and welcome to Trash Talk with Tommy B. So right here on this channel I'm going to be talking pretty much everything I talk on my podcast Trashy TV with Ash P and Tommy B, and what I talk on my TikTok, which is Tom B Rich 2. I'll link everything in the bio. But yeah, so I reckon today I'm going to talk about the block, Real Housewives of Sydney, Real Housewives of New Jersey, and a little bit of MAFS UK. So I'm pretty much going to do a recap. I'm going to do this weekly, just a recap of pretty much what has gone down on reality shows, you know, mainly Australian shows. I will do a little bit of Housewives here and there, but yeah, so we're going to see how we go, alright? So give me a break if, you know, I'm a little shit at this, because I feel like it feels weird looking into the camera. Anyway, let's talk about the block. I mean, where do we start? Bloody Leah is driving me nuts. I'm assuming you all have watched, you know, Sunday night with, you know, the bloody secret gnome, which was insane. But where to begin? I think the thing that annoys me with Leah is that woman takes no responsibility for any of her actions at all. Literally anything she does, it's like, I'm just going to blame Kristy for it, or Kristy, Krusty the Clown, as I call it. I can't remember what that woman's name is. Anyway, but as I was saying, Leah kind of projects all of her bad behavior and is putting it on Kristy, and it fucking pissed me to F off, because I'm like, this woman is sitting there and she has bullied Steph this for the last, how many, 7 weeks? Like literally 7 weeks, and now she's gonna sit here and be like, you know what, I just went into a friendship, you know, with Kristy because it was for like comfort, you know, and I didn't realize. It's like, honey, you were being a bully too. So it's like, I just don't like the fact that she's blaming Kristy for everything when they have been just as bad as each other. Like, it's just annoying. And I'm really glad the girls won. The sisters, they won the room. Is it Eliza or Elizabeth? I can't even fucking remember. Elizabeth and Liberty. I'm glad they won, but you know what? I feel like the episode I will be watching tonight is Leah and Eliza's confrontation, or like their sit down. And what I'm scared of is that she's going to just let Leah go. Like, I feel like she's just they're all gonna forgive Leah. That's what the feeling I get, that Steph, all of them are just gonna move on from Leah and make Kristy the complete bad guy, which I understand. Kristy is worse, but I feel like Leah is no innocent little child, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know, I just feel icky with Leah and Kristy. I feel like this season has been different than other seasons of the block, because I really feel like in the past few seasons, it's like, yeah, there's always going to be drama, always, but like this drama is being like, they've just been bullying people. Like Kristy and Leah have just bullied Steph for no fucking reason, out of the blue. Where I feel like in the past there was, you know, like a cheating scandal, or, you know, whatever it was, you know, with Ronnie and Georgia when their pool was, you know, like they had to get their pool airlifted in or whatever, and the other houses wanted them to pay them. There's always some sort of drama, but it's block related. I mean, the secret gnome made sense because that was all block related, but I feel like before then, Leah and Kristy have just been mean for no reason, and it just irks me the wrong way, and I see that the audience is, you know, getting sick of it. And listen, I'm the first person to sit here and say that with the reality shows, like, it lives off drama, of course, and I do think the block lives off drama as well, but I think that with the block, it does live off different sort of drama. Like, I don't think the audience is really always watching the block just for, you know, people to, you know, punch on. I think that we are watching to see the room reveals. Like, I know I definitely am. Like, I love seeing Sunday night and, you know, seeing the houses and seeing the kitchens or whatever room they're going to do that week. So I think that, you know, next season, for their 20th season for the block, I feel like it's going to be different. I don't see them casting people like that are going to be crazy and bitchy. I just can't see it. Also, side note about Leah, I feel like this woman is only, like, I feel like if the only reason she's turning on Kristy now is because she knows the girls, the sisters, are fan favorites. And that's the whole thing. Like, if she knew the sisters were not going to be fan favorites, she wouldn't turn on them. But she knows that they are, and she thinks it's going to be bad for herself. And that's where I don't like it. Because the thing is, she thinks, like they've even said, they thought Leah and Kristy thought Steph was going to get a bad edit. but she didn't. Like, people like her. And so when they were filming, they really thought that Steph was going to be a bad edit. So that's why you don't see Leah feeling bad or feeling remorseful for the way she, spoke to Steph, because she thinks that she's going to be the villain. But I guarantee if she knew now that Steph was actually loved by the audience or liked, she would not have been mean. It's all a game. Both of them are playing games, and that's fine. It's the block, but I don't know. There's something icky about those two, and to be honest, I'm more pissed off with Leah now than I am with Kristy, because as I said, I just don't like when people turn on people. Like, listen, I think Kristy has been a bully and mean, but I'm like, Leah, you have don't act innocent. I know I could go in circles, but don't act innocent. Here's my thing. It's like, if she said to Kristy in week 1, you know what? I don't like your behavior. I judged our friendship wrong. Okay, cool. But you can't do it 7 weeks in and sit there and say, oh, you know what? Oh, you know what I mean? Oh, I can't, now I feel bad that I've hurt everybody's feelings. No, you can't do that. You have to, it's bullshit. It's absolute bullcrap if you ask me. It's it's just a cop out. It annoys me because it does annoy me, because I'm like, you're just being fake. It's like you're just trying to save your own ass. And if you really had problems and you really felt like you didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, you would have done that weeks ago. You wouldn't have waited until you're thinking, shit, now my image is going to look bad. And yeah. And also, she says that she doesn't join the conspiracies with, the Kristy about the girls. Like, she's like, oh, I don't believe, the girls are getting better treatment. But yet, the night before, when they had their the kitchen room reveal, anyway, she literally said that they thought that the builders got fired, and that's they had to fire the builders to get the gnome. So I'm like, you do. And she also said that she's pissed off that Leah, Liberty and Eliza lied to her. I'm like, what do you mean? So it's like, that's the whole thing. It's like she's trying to sit here and backpedal, but honey, it does not work on Tom B. Rich. I'm telling you right now, I know these people are pissed off with me. They see my TikToks. I know Kristy and Leah are probably livid at me because I'm always talking about it. But hey, that's the thing. Don't go on a reality show. If you don't want people to talk about you, don't go on a reality show. You know what I'm saying? Alright guys, The Real Housewives of Sydney is coming back on October 10th on Binge. The show has been revived after how many fucking years? I feel like it's been a while. When was it? 2017, the first season aired. So it's going to be interesting. I saw the trailer. It looks boring AF. I'm being completely honest. It does not look interesting at all. It kind of looks like The Real Housewives of Melbourne season 5. But I'm hoping that the trailer just looks shit. Because I will say, the Americans do the Housewives trailers amazingly. Australia, not so much. I feel like whenever they do a Housewives season and they show a trailer, it's usually pretty shit. So I'm hoping that the trailer is just bad. But I also don't know how they're going to top season 1 of Sydney, because that was crazy. I've always been that person who didn't really like Sydney. I thought it was too much. Listen, I love a good wine toss, a good glass smash 100%. But when it's in every single episode, it loses its spark. You know what I mean? If Lisa Rinna was going around smashing the glass in every episode, you'd be like, okay, whatever. It kind of loses that, the build-up, I guess. So, I mean, watching Sydney back, it's funny, you know what I mean? But I always thought it was, very... they weren't friends. It all just seemed so fake and so staged. More fake and staged than it normally is. So the only 2 returning housewives is it Nicole Martin? I don't even know her name. Nicole someone and Chrissy Marsh. Anyway, I don't know why they're bringing Nicole back, because she's boring AF. It makes no sense. If they were going to bring any housewives back, it should have been Athena X and Lisa. They were the 2 housewives to me that stuck out, that I feel like they should have made a reboot around. It just makes fucking no sense. Why Nicole? It's literally, I'm trying to think what it is. It's rebooting Real Housewives of Melbourne and literally just having Jackie, or I don't know, just having Chica. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're nice, but we want Gina and Lydia. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so they've rebooted the show. Apparently the show is, I've heard, insider scoop, I have heard that the season is good and they're happy with it, so I guess we'll see. They do go to Tokyo on their cast trip, which is cool that they're going international for the first cast trip. I think that's nice. All I hope from Sydney is that they can kind of rebrand this franchise in Australia, because I can't deal with them bringing one episode out and then, one season out and then, not doing another season for 3 years. It's fucking annoying. It's like you get attached to these people and then you forget about it because they bring back a new season or they're rebooting it. You know what I mean? These shows are so cheap to make. They get good ratings online. So I don't know why they wouldn't make more of them. I just really hope it does well and they constantly give us seasons every year. But I also think they should do Real Housewives of Queensland or the Gold Coast. So I think they should have actually done that instead of rebooting Sydney, personally. I think Queensland would have been a really fun take for the Housewives. It would have been like Miami, it would have been sexy and fun. But yeah, I guess we'll see. But I guess my hope is it does well and then they can bring back Melbourne and they can bring back Gina and Lydia, because that's what I'm waiting for. I just hope they do like a season every year and it's kind of, that would make sense. You know what I mean? Don't give us one season, then in like fucking 5 years, we're not going to have any more seasons. It's just so stupid, in my opinion. All right, let's talk a little bit about American Housewives. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, because I do love New Jersey. And you know what? I know I was mainly going to talk about Australian shows here. I will touch on Beverly Hills because I love Beverly Hills, but I need to talk about Jersey. So if you guys have heard the rumors, I'm sure you have, the new housewife, Danielle Cabrera, I don't know how to say her last name, the blonde woman. Anyway, the one who has the brand Bougie Kids. She got into a fight with Jen Aiden. Obviously, we all know who Jen Aiden is. And she threw a bottle at Jen Aiden's head. And she kind of cut her and then she was bleeding from her head. And now they're both suspended from filming and there's an investigation going on in Bravo to see, because it was a physical attack. Anyway, the thing is, all of the Teresa fans now hate Danielle, even though they loved her last year because, she was on Teresa's side. Now all Teresa's fans hate her because she's coming after Jen Aiden. But I'm also low key, listen, violence is not the answer 100%. But Teresa fans, you really going to sit here and mock people for Danielle chucking a bottle? Didn't Teresa not only flip a table on Danielle, she threw a chair at, what's her face? What is it called? Threw a chair at Kim D. She pushed Andy in the chair. And let's not forget when she was in, was it Texas or whatever in season 12? She pushed shit in what's her face? In Margaret's face. It went everywhere in her face. So I'm she also threw shit in her face. So I'm how is that any different? And y'all all know damn well, if Danielle had thrown a cup at Melissa's head, they would have been yes, Danielle, go for it. Melissa deserved it. You know what I'm saying? There's such a double standard, and it pisses me to F off because it's if it happened to Margaret or Melissa, they would all be happy about it. But because it happens to Teresa's sidekick, and listen, I do love Jen Aiden, I love her. But I just feel Teresa fans, especially on Twitter, they are so toxic and they're so stupid. They really are stupid because their double standards don't even make fucking sense, 100%. And I think they live in their own little bubble that they think that everyone just loves Teresa, where that couldn't be further from the truth. And listen, Teresa is the star of the show. I'm not trying to sit here and say that she isn't. But everybody I know in real life who watches New Jersey does not like Teresa. They only like Melissa. They actually like Melissa and Margaret. And it's funny seeing Facebook and Instagram, they're all usually Team Melissa. It's only usually YouTube or mainly Twitter that are people who are Team Teresa. So I think that their perception is kind of warped in that sense that they only think that Teresa's family and, Teresa's side, I guess, Jen and Dolores, all that, they're always right. And can I also add, is they're always we can finally get rid of Melissa and it can be Teresa's show. But I'm Teresa said she didn't want to film with Melissa, right? So I'm I think Melissa and Joe are open to filming with Teresa. I think they're hurt by them, but they're open to film with it. They understand it's a show, we've got to film. But Teresa won't do it. So I'm Teresa, don't come back to the show. If you're that rich, right? Because Louis makes that much money, why do you even need to come back to the show then? Leave. Because I honestly don't think at this point, with no Teresa, the show would go on and the show would be fine. I think we're at a point in Housewives that those main people, they're not really necessary. And you know what? If I was sitting here 5 years ago, I would have said there's no show without Teresa. And on some degree, I still agree with that, but I just think that you're able to move on. And I think what changed it was when Lisa Vanderpump left, I was like, oh my God, like this, I was worried. But I actually think Beverly Hills has been better than ever. You know what I mean? And I think that any show is able to kind of move on from that person. If you get the right people, the right juicy storyline, it can evolve and move on. And I think, you know, that's what's going to happen. I just think if Teresa's not willing to film, I don't think it's time to get rid of Melissa and Joe. I think it's time to get rid of Teresa. Unless Teresa's going to go to jail again. That's the only thing I want to see. And low-key, I kind of think that she will. Like, not her, but I think that Louis is going to get arrested. You heard it here first. I just feel like Louis is so dodgy. He's so creepy. He is so creepy, right? Like, I just can't deal with that man. He's just not my cup of tea. I'm not into him, but yeah. So that's kind of the scandal at the moment. And also, obviously, we know about Jackie. Jackie and Margaret are fighting. The rumor is that Jackie, you know how she released her book. I think it came out today. I think it's the called like My Beautiful Weight or something to do with that. Anyway, the book cover is really beautiful. But anyway, so apparently Margaret said that the only reason Jackie got a book deal is because of her. Because of Margaret, and Jackie's upset that Margaret said that. Anyway, but the thing I don't like about Jackie now that she's like switched sides to Teresa, because I'm like, honey, I get it, I do get it, but it's like if you're angry at Margaret, I get it. But also low-key, it's like Teresa has said horrible things about your marriage, and so has Jen, and it's like, don't sit here and act like they're going to be your best friends. And now she's also coming for Melissa. I get Margaret, but I'm like, why are you coming for Melissa? Just because, what, she doesn't like Teresa? I don't know. It icks me. It was like when I was talking about The Block. I'm like, and for the American people who are watching, they probably don't even know what The Block is, but it's like, it's just icky, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, it's just like Leah turning on Kirsty and then like Jackie turning on Margaret. I'm like, ugh, I don't like that ickiness. When you just turn on someone so quickly and then go over and hang out with their enemies almost, there's something icky about that, regardless of the right or wrong. I just don't like that. And you know what? I can understand why Jackie is annoyed, but I guess we'll have to wait and see the season play out, because I am excited. I think this season actually is turning out good. The other rumor is that production for New Jersey is struggling because there's two sides. So you've got on one side, you've got Dolores, you've got Teresa, you've got Jackie, and you've got Jen. On the other side, you've got Rachel, you've got Danielle, you've got Melissa and Margaret. And they're not filming together. So apparently production is like, oh, you know what? We're going to do a Real Housewives season focusing on two friendship groups. So they're going to be like two different storylines. So they're not going to interact, which makes no sense because they've already interacted because Danielle threw a bottle at Jen's head. And Dolores was at Melissa's sister's wedding the other day. So I don't know how that's going to work. But apparently they're going to take two new cast trips. Like, they're not going to go on a cast trip together. And apparently the reunion would film separately, which I doubt. I feel like the reunion, they're all going to be together. Maybe they'll keep, filming together separately, because that would be a different kind of dynamic than we've seen before in any of the franchises. But I don't see that I don't see them not filming the reunion together. That makes no fucking sense. Maybe the cast trip they might, but it's like, if they're all just hanging out in separate groups, where's the drama? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so stupid. Like, it's so fucking stupid. But I guess we're going to see. Okay, let's talk about MAFS UK. You know what? I'm not completely up to date, so don't judge me. It's actually hard to watch here in Australia because it's literally like I have to bloody go on like Daily Motion or whatever to watch it. I did watch the first two episodes, or maybe it was just the first episode. It actually was pretty decent, so if any Australians want to check it out, go watch it. Just type it on Daily Motion. It's free. You'll be able to find it. Don't tell anyone my secret though. But yeah, anyway, so obviously it's not as good as the Australian one. No offense to the UK people, but I'm sure y'all will agree with me. You know what I mean? But anyway, there was this woman on the show. Her name was, the episode I watched, her name was Jay. And, she had one arm. And can I just say, her sister was like fucking horrible. I don't know why, but she was literally like to Jay, her partner, Luke, that was the one that got married. Anyway, her sister was like, oh, you know, you don't have to be worried about not, you know, I know you probably would have been shocked that she only had one arm and, you know, it's all right if you weren't attracted to her or whatever. I'm like, Jesus Christ, just throw your bloody sister under the bus. I was like, this just made, I was like, shit, tell me what you really think. I was like, this is insane. Like the way she was just like talking about her sister. And I know she probably meant well, you know, and she didn't mean to come off rude, but it was just like, what the F? Like, I don't understand why she was so, like, I don't know, defensive or so, like, I mean, I get it, but I was just like, honey, you're coming off on the wrong way, you know what I mean? Like, it's coming off bad, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, Jay and Luke did seem happy. They seem like a cute couple, I have to admit. I do want to talk about, there is another contestant on the show, and she's transgender, and her name is Ella. I really need to watch the wedding, sorry, I've been busy. But she married Nathaniel, I think it is. I think that's how you say his name. Anyway, he's pansexual, so which means that he like loves anybody. You know, he doesn't care about the gender, just the person he falls in love with. So that's the difference. Anyway, so they got paired together, and there's been a big conversation online that I've seen is that did they trick Nathaniel into, you know, dating a transgendered woman? But I'm like, I don't know. I mean, listen, I've seen the casting, you know, things like the cast, like the fill out form or whatever. They ask you if you're open to dating different, you know, transgender or whatever, you know, boys, girls, whatever. So listen, and also if he says he's pansexual, then I guess like you wouldn't have a problem with it, right? Because you're open to everything, you know what I mean? I get it, like, but listen, I understand if it was like a straight guy and I had no idea, and it's hard to know. Like, it's hard to know, is production going to be that messy and do that? Maybe, probably. I mean, you don't know, it is Married at First Sight, so they probably would. But from my understanding, it seems like those two are totally cool with it, and, you know, yeah, I did hear a very juicy rumor about Ella in this season, which I can't wait for. I won't spill it here because I don't want to spill my tea. I don't want to ruin it for anyone who is watching it. But it's going to be interesting to watch. But yeah, I mean, they're already fighting this bloody Ella and Nathaniel anyway, so I don't think they're going to last. But yeah, but it's just quite interesting to see. And I like that in the UK one that, you know, they have a transgendered woman. Even like a season ago, they had like a gay couple. And you know what? In Australia, all they have is like the most basic ass white people. And it's funny because one of the experts, Mel, who is on the Australian version, she was on a UK radio show, and they were talking about, you know, Ella, the transgendered woman. Anyway, and then Melissa was like, oh yeah, we want to have the show reflective of the world, you know, we don't just want to have one, you know, gender or one race or whatever. I'm like, honey, that's all you have in the Australian one. Like, shut up, what are you talking about? I'm telling you, do not trust Mel Edwards. Not Mel Edwards, what's her name? Mel, whatever her name is. Do not trust her, because she gives the world's shittiest advice. She always gives the world's shittiest advice. I don't know if Mel was on last year's season, but like, do not trust her. Any of the contestants shouldn't trust her. Don't even, when you're watching at home, watching her talk, just don't listen to her, because she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. I'll be a better expert than she would, like, seriously. But yeah, and she was sitting there like, oh, you know, we make sure we go through full consent, you know, that Nathaniel or whoever was going to date Ella knew that she was transgendered, sorry. But yeah, I guess it's just, I don't know, it's like, it's murky waters, because it's like, I think that he's cool with it, but it could have gone down a whole different way. And I mean, also Mel said, that's what she said. She said, we're not into shock value on Married at First Sight. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Can I just take you back to season 6 of the Australian franchise, when they literally, what's her name, Jess Powers was saying yes to Mick for like 4 weeks, and then in the end was like, yeah, I've been cheating on you. What do you mean? You're into shock value. Or what about the reunions when they show all the bad behavior? That's to try and shock the contestants and shock the audience. Like that's so stupid. It's like, they are. So it's like Mel Edwards is trying to, I keep calling her Mel Edwards, and it's not Mel Edwards. That was my old regional boss or whatever. Anyway, but this Mel woman is always trying to, like, she's trying to defend the show, and I'm like, honey, we love the show, we love the tea, we love the drama, but you don't have to sit here and like fake this bullshit, because none of us are buying what you're putting down, sweetheart. Just go back and, you know, have a shower or something and, I don't know, play a crossword. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, well, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to do this every week, kind of just give like a rough review of, you know, all the shows and everything that's going on in pop culture. If there's anything you want me to talk about, let me know. Follow me on my podcast, which is Trashy TV Podcast, and also follow me on my TikTok because I post videos daily. I'm always on there, where at least on my YouTube channel I can come and do more of a bigger review. It's not so, you know, short. So definitely follow me on my TikTok and my podcast, Trashy TV Podcast. They're all links in my bio and all that stuff. Yeah, so Tommy Rich 2 on TikTok, Trashy TV with Ash P and Tommy B on my podcast. And thank you so much. And please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.